welcome back to another anime episode review. I am the Rat, and this is the Rat's Nest. I'm joined as always by Kyle. Say hi, Kyle.
Hello, everyone.
Today we are back talking about Only I Level Up, or as they say in Nippon, Oredake Level Up Naken, Episode 2 subbed, if I had one more chance.
Or as we call it, solo leveling.
That's not what I call it. You're capping, bro. You're putting words in my mouth that I did not
Sorry,
say.
or as I call it, the correct way, solo leveling.
That's incorrect. It's not the translation. Anyways, this was a pretty good episode. The second half of episode 1, as most episodes 2s are nowadays.
I really do wish that this would have been bundled together with the first episode. I mean,
think it would have worked a lot better.
It would have.
This is a very, because I mean, like here's the plot hook, right? Here.
This is the plot hook episode.
Yeah. My
'Cause the
face when
first
I almost
episode-
die and a screen flashes up and is like, "Do you want to accept being a player?" Like, yeah, that's the plot hook.
Well, just when you think about it, right? When you look at where episode 1, like the last episode, ends, I don't feel like that would be as much of a big hook for a lot of people because it's they get in, like, that's not the hook. The hook is what happens after that. They get in over their head, they make a bad decision, and they start getting killed. It feels like there's a lot of that in this particular day and age where the big hook in some shows is just like random character deaths, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's so great. No, that's not the hook for this show, and I really wish that they would have bundled this episode with the previous one to show what the actual hook was, because I gotta say
there weren't too many character deaths last time. This one was the one where they killed everyone.
and not, you know what I mean, like they walk in the room, he starts EBDBing them all.
He did EBDB a couple of them.
And this was a good episode. I really enjoyed this episode. The first, the first half of it was like the first 2 of the little challenges that they had to. I'm calling them like they had to do like 3 steps to get out of there. The first 2 steps were well and good and all, but I was really gravitated toward the second half. I don't know, something about it was just interesting. And you just want to dive straight in.
Yeah, I suppose so. This episode is pretty easy to talk about because there are 3 main things that happen. They follow the first commandment, they follow the second commandment, and they follow the third commandment.
Yeah,
before we talk about that, though, the intro, let's touch on.
Because that was
I really liked it. I really liked it. It was really pretty. It was really well animated.
It's pretty.
I really
like
liked the song. The song, like the guy that's crazy. I really like the song Level by Tomorrow X Tomorrow, which is a K-pop band. So it's a K-pop song. Yippee. I will say it is weird, as you commented on this, and I felt this too. Like, it feels like it goes on for like a verse too long. Like, like it continued for like a verse extra after the chorus.
Yeah, no, because
it's like I'm not
the part of
complaining,
it.
It's weird.
And so I'm gonna have to describe it like this because I'm unfamiliar. But it felt like the song should have ended, and then it cut to him fighting some person in like a red suit, like a big red suit of armor, and they just started fighting. And it was cool. I'm happy that it went on for a bit longer. It just felt like that was the moment where the song should have ended. It's a good OP. I don't have too much to say on it right now because I don't know all the spoilery stuff in it. But
yeah,
I like it.
I will say, I mean, I don't know how much I can say on this really, but I was like watching the intro a little bit surprised that we didn't get like anything of what we saw like at the end until like we got to the end, and I was like, oh, there it is. Like we got there, and I was like okay. I was like a little bit surprised. I mean, don't read too much into that because there's not too much to read into that. But I was like okay.
Well,
but it was interesting. I mean, I liked it, and it wasn't any. It was like a minute there. I just checked that's what I was doing. I just checked. It was normal opening length, so it wasn't like any longer than others. Just odd. I don't know. I liked it though. So let's talk about the episode itself. Let's get right into it. So the first commandment, right?
Yeah, because it ends after this giant stone creature thing just laser beamed a few of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, I'm trying to remember, it was revere God, praise God, and then show your love of God.
Faith.
Those are the 3 commandments.
Prove your faith to God.
Yeah. Prove your faith. That's important wording. So the first one, it was simple. They're all like on the ground, and then he's like, I got it, guys. Just start bowing your heads, revere, and then they revere. There's not too much there. The second
Intuitive
one,
design to have it kill you if you raise its head. If you raise your head, you have the commandments, so then you have time to think and be like, oh, we should probably follow the commandments. If you raise your head, it kills you, so we need to not raise our head and praise it. We need to bow. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a pretty efficient system.
This was a cool setup for the first like major action sequence to the series, because then after that he accidentally triggers the second commandment step where it just starts walking around stomping on people.
Well, it smiled.
Oh, it does smile.
That's like the iconic solo
give.
leveling panel is of the statue smiling.
Can you like share the original?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, but it has like it looks like a Titan straight out of Attack on Titan.
It does.
Like, it looked really cool when it did that, I gotta say. Yeah, and then it starts committing murder. It gets up and
it continues committing murder. It's already committed a little bit of murder.
It commits murder by foot. It's so big. It's so big. It just starts walking around and stomping up. There was one particular moment where a girl got stomped on, and it stopped for like a split second when it put its foot down, and it made a squelch noise, and then it was just him stomping her out. Like it was pretty. Some of the deaths were pretty gruesome. Because then the solution to that he found out was he looked around the room. There were different types of statues, and some of them had instruments. So it was like, oh, okay. So we need to run up to the ones that have musical instruments, and then when a person walks up to it, it starts playing the instrument. Unfortunately, he runs over there with like Joo-hee. He runs up to one of them, and it doesn't activate. And so he realizes, oh dang, it's only one statue per person. And he tells Joo-hee to wait there, and then he runs to another statue. As he's running, he gets chased. Big Thing stomps on him. He gets launched in front of another statue with the shield. It drops down, and then he crawls over to the other statue. Another one with the instrument, and then it's like, oh no, he got his leg blown off after he got hit by the shield.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then Joo-hee continues being a fail boss, walks right up to him and tries to heal him, and then just starts bleeding out of like every hole, nose, eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I like the second phase. Because it's, it's quite different. Because then it's like, okay, now we have the active threat of this guy's going to kill us, which is like the first phase, right? But then
the first phase is more passive. It was like it wasn't actively seeking you out. If you just broke the rule, it would attack you. This thing, like, if you don't move, you die. Like you're dead. Like it keeps you on the move.
Yeah, but then it is also a little bit funny because the way that you find out how to beat it is you have to have people die because they run up to the statues and then the statues activate and kill them. They don't activate on their own, so then it's like, oh, damn, okay. So the statues activate whenever you go near them. There are swords, whatever, instruments. So we go up to the instruments, they'll praise you. I mean, I really like the way that these are laid out.
And it shows off more of his observation skills because again, that's a detail. I don't remember how much I said about it in the first recording that we did. I'm a big fan of that detail where because he's so weak, he's more careful and attentive to the surroundings around him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool that they built this entire like long puzzle sequence. I could call it a puzzle. It's basically a puzzle sequence, like around that he's the one trying to solve it. Where even though he's weak, it's showing off like a strength that he has.
Yeah. And so
him being the weakest one and being the one who's helping everyone survive. There's something really cool about that.
Yeah, he's pretty based like that. Sung Jinwoo more like Sung Jin based. So before we get into the third trial, there are two little scenes that we can touch on. One where we get introduced formally to Sung Jinwoo's sister, Sung Jinah.
Yeah.
Or Jinah. I don't know how you technically are like supposed to pronounce that or what emphasis you're supposed to put on what syllable. But Jinah, Sung Jinah. We get to see her talk to her friend, Sung Cheol, which, if you'll remember, last episode we saw someone in the hunter's place getting tested. It was her.
Oh.
Yeah, like if you went back and like I'm not like giving you a spoiler. Like Like she was just a minor character design. I wouldn't expect you to remember it, but it was her.
Yeah.
So it's like, huh, that's interesting. So that's where she was yesterday, and she was like, oh, I overslept, and then we get to see Sung Jinwoo go to their mom's and start talking to her. So
It wasn't that long of a scene either.
No, it was very long. I just wanted to mention those because it's good to get introduced to some characters.
I mean, they weren't they were not the most important thing happening, but it was a nice little bit of levity, a little bit of a break from the action.
A little bit of a break from like, oh, everyone's dying.
A little bit of a break from big old Titan Stone Man stomping around.
Yeah. So they complete the second trial. Sung Jinwoo has lost one of his legs. Rest in piss. Juhee can't heal him because her name is Lee Juhee, I think. If I remember correctly, it's Lee Juhee.
I'm just gonna call her Lee then.
That's so real.
You could be lying to me. I'm just gonna call her Lee.
So you have she can't heal him because she's overextended herself because she's a wuss, and she's also terrible in stressful situations, which is why she always does lower ranked dungeons, which I like that detail. I think that's a fun little addition to her character because it's like, yeah, why would a healer be here?
She's highly ranked, but she folds. So she fumbles so hard under pressure.
She does fumble so hard under pressure, bro.
Just so many times this episode, it was hard to watch. Just yeah. But then so they start moving on to the final sequence where an altar appears. And they're all like, okay, I think we see where this is going. One of them draws a sword and puts it up to like the captain leader's neck and is like, okay, you did this, so we're gonna sacrifice you. And then Sung Jinwoo's like thinking to himself as the guy's walking over, like that's not really fair. Like we all took a bet, or not a bet, but we all took a vote and we all agreed. Not all agreed, but we voted on it, right? We did a vote. It's not fair just to pin the blame on him. So then I'm trying to remember like the sequence of what happened. So he walks in. There's a red flame that appears, and then he asks Sung Jinwoo asks another two to carry him in so we can examine the altar to learn more. 3 more flames appear, him and then 2 other people walk in, 3 more. And so then he says, well, something's probably not going to happen until everyone walks in. The final 2 walk in, and then the 3rd little event happens where it's them in like this most center like circle. Then these red flames, 6 of them for the 6 flames for the 6 of them that are in there. And then there's a lot of little blue flames that like surround them. All the statues start moving toward them, and it works like the Weeping Angels from what's that one show? Doctor Who, where
don't you mean the coil heads from hit game Lethal Company?
Don't you mean the things from FNAF Security Breach? I don't remember.
Endoskeletons? Don't you mean SCP-173?
Okay, anyway. So how it works is this. If they work together, it's trying to prove their faith in this god, where if they all stay in and are looking at these statues, they're not going to get attacked. But a couple of them panic. By that I mean half of their crew panics and runs off as they're trying to wait out this blue flame timer. And so they're thinking, like, is it a trap? Is it not a trap? Like, if they... Like, the whole point is, like, they should stay in this room and do the trial. There's not necessarily a guarantee that they're going to be let go, but that's kind of, like, their best bet of don't leave the room. It's probably a trap. But half of them leave. It's their leader, Juhee, and then Sung Jinwoo. And so, because there's only 3 of them, there's a lot of blind spots. Some of the statues are moving. He basically makes the call, Sung Jinwoo, and he's like, all right, you two, you need to leave. After the leader knocks out Juhee.
That's just based because typical woman. She's like, no, I'm not gonna leave you. No, I should be the one to that. And then yeah, he just knocks her out, which is pretty based on his end. Yeah,
he makes the call where he's like, okay, I'm gonna stay behind. I should be the one to die. That's important. Where he says that, and then she's complaining. He's like, all right, look, I said I'd take you out to dinner. Here's a little bit of money. He gives like a stone and says, like, go get yourself something to eat. When I come back out of here alive, gosh darn it, I'll get the change. And then she starts complaining, gets knocked out, and then they leave. And then it leads to probably my favorite sequence of the episode, where It's just him getting brutally maimed, kicking himself for this decision making, where he's thinking like, because when one of the guys fled earlier, the guy's like, I can't take it. I got a family to take care of.
Mr.
And
Kim
then some
was the guy who fled.
Kim, and he's thinking to himself like, damn it, I have a family too. Like how come you get to do that? How come just because I'm weak? Why is it me? How come I had to be the one in this position as he's getting flung around, losing another, like he's losing an arm stabbed to the chest, getting brutally maimed by these things, and he's just lamenting the situation he's in. There's just something about that where he is pissed that he's weak. He's pissed that he made that decision. It's like, why can't I be one of the ones? Like, I want to see my family again. How come it's me? And then, is there any important detail I'm missing up to this point, or anything?
No,
important
that's pretty much it. I will say specifically, I was very happy they kept in. Sometimes with adaptations, they don't keep every single line. Very happy they kept the line where he was like, "I have a family too, damn it." Like, I want to get out of here too. Because that's like the key line that in this whole monologue that I was really like, damn, yeah. And I like the thinking where it's like, so often I think we see people have these, I say people, so often we see characters have these kind of like self-sacrificial mindsets. But it's nice to see someone, and it's more common now, but also Solo Leveling was one that pioneered this genre. To have a character like in their dying moments be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, no, this is pretty bullshit. Like, and really, I think not pulling the punch at like the guy running away and being like, yeah, like what a selfish prick, Yeah. Like, that's not just you, dog. That's not just how I really like it. I think that it's a very good monologue here. And I do like they adapted it. The manual was a little bit more like, oh yeah, Sung Jinwoo could do absolutely nothing. Like, literally, he held up the sword and got immediately impaled. Like, I don't think he lost an arm in the manual. I could be completely misremembering things. Like, he just like got immediately clapped.
Yeah, I mean, either way,
his cheeks were clapped the second he stepped foot in that building, right? As opposed to here, where like there was a little bit more action. Honestly, I preferred this version because it was a lot more brutal, which I can always appreciate. The entire thing was a lot more brutal, and part of that is animation and music and voice acting.
Reading about it is different than visibly seeing the blood splatter.
Well, I mean, we get to see it in the manhwa too, but I think the anime did a really good job with it. And damn, if this is how they adapted this scene, now obviously this scene is kind of important, right? It's kind of literally the crux of the plot, man. Would you be surprised for me to tell you this scene is important, Kyle? To see them adapt this like this, it's like, damn, looking forward. It's like, oh shit.
They did a good job portraying him in like his death throes, like his final moments. Well, not really, but what he thinks is his final moments, and him just kind of letting it out internally against the world. Something about that I can resonate with, because I mean, like you said earlier, there's a lot of this self-sacrificial mindset in these types of, not just, I know this isn't a shonen, but like similar types of action shows where characters like, I'm willing to sacrifice myself for everyone, and sometimes it kind of just goes unquestioned. Or
I think sometimes it can be done well. I mean,
I'm not saying that that's bad, but what I'm getting at is, it's nice to have a change of pace where a character stops and it's like, wait a minute, why the fuck am I doing this? Like they commit to it, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to do this. That guy, he's just trying to justify his bullshit. He's like, oh, I have a family too. Hey, guess what? We all have families. The guy who died earlier, who got cut in half.
Fucking family.
Like the guy who got cut in half earlier, and they like had a really cool way to show it by showing him fall in half from the reflection of the shield. That guy was bragging about his wife, and he's dead. Yeah, they did a good job with it. I guess I can't say adapting it because I don't know the original source material, but I am happy with this scene, and more specifically, the little plot hook that we get where it happens. You get some weird pop-up messages that are just saying like congrats, you completed the like secret quest, like Courage of the Week. You can become a player. yes or no. If you don't agree, your heart will stop in 0.02 seconds, and then he silently clicks yes, and that's where it cuts before it shows the backrooms ED.
Which I was kind of confused with because I like because the ED started and I wasn't starting to notice the ED yet, and I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, I
confused
mean, I was
too.
like, I was like, this is like odd visualization. I was like, I mean, like, I guess I can kind of get it. I was like, because, I mean, this is kind of extremely important to the plot. This is kind of, the reason the plot happens. That's crazy. But then it was the ED, so I was like, okay, well, there's a little bit, and the ED. We'll talk about the ED a little bit, but yeah, no, that's it. Ooh, mystery. I can't really say anything on it. I think they did it really, really well. This was exactly what I thought would be adapted. I'm glad they didn't try to fit more afterwards here, because there was another spot they could have chosen to end on. And I'm glad that they ended it here specifically as opposed to there. The next spot will probably be like where the opening plays next episode. Like, there's always like a couple minutes of stuff in the opening, like that's probably what next episode will be. But yeah, no, I'm very, very happy with it. I think the voice actors all did a great job with it, especially Sung Jinwoo. He really killed that. I mean, there was that speech always hits it. It really hit really hard in the anime. I really liked it. And it's especially important to his character, obviously. Man, who knew that this would be an important episode for literally everything in the series? But
it's almost like it's set up.
That's crazy. As the guy who knows everything, it's a good episode. I'm very, very happy with how it was adapted. I think it sets everything up. Hey, you know what? It adapts the story. It adapts the story very well.
And I gotta say,
I don't know how it could adapt the story better. So that's high praise.
As the guy who knows nothing about it, I hate it because I don't understand all the symbolism of the OP and ED.
It's a guy who understands it. I don't even understand all the symbolism in the ED. So I guess we can go ahead and touch on that. Yeah, the ED. I liked it. I liked the song. I loved the visuals.
The back rooms were trippy.
Yeah, the back rooms. You have like a mix between like realism plus like the anime style with Jinwoo, and you have like, I mean, I don't think it's like actual pictures of stuff, but like whenever you have like photorealistic style stuff mixed with whatever, and you have like that grainy filter over it, it's like old VHS tapes. It's cool. It's a cool little effect. Like I will, like, Kyle, like, don't read into anything for the ED for like plot reasons, because I genuinely don't know like what it means.
I mean, the most I can make out of it, right, is like, okay, this is me trying to piece stuff together. I don't know, because in this world, right, what you're born with is what you get. You can't really, you can't really go up or go down. You're kind of at your level. So I kind of see
level
solo. I kind of see it as with Sung Jinwoo, where being weak is kind of akin to being lost in a maze like that, where no matter how much you try or struggle, like, you can never escape being weak. That's why I thought they chose a back room.
Could be.
That's what I get out of it. And then maybe, because there's, in all these backroom stories, there's always some sort of like chance to escape. There's a chance to get out, and I feel like Sung Jinwoo is going to be one of those few who gets that chance to escape the reality of being weak. That's what I glean from it. I read too much into things too many times, but I feel like that's a decent analysis coming from a person who just watched 2 episodes.
Hey, yeah, it's entirely fair. Honestly, I mean, it makes sense. That's
fake fan, Brandon. Fake fan. Come on, man.
I mean, like, thinking of everything I know about Solo off the top of my head, right? It's been a second since I read it. I mean, I don't know, because there's just some visuals just throw me off. Like, I don't know how to explain them. I mean, okay. I guess. I mean, I can think of one thing to explain something, but like to pull that and to display it like that, like that's such a reach. But that's the only thing I could think of for it. I mean, there's another thing that's way further of a reach, and it's not that, but that's the explanation I'm going to go with, because that's far funnier, because it's hilarious, because it is such a reach. Obviously, I can't say anything about it, but it does make sense with everything shown, actually.
Yeah.
But it's such a reach. It's such a reach.
I can't really think of anything. I mean, they showed a lot, like a burning tree, and so I forget who it was, but someone running. I don't like the person running was not Sung Jinwoo. Sung Jinwoo was at this burning tree, and that's what I can. That's what I get. That's what I remember from it. I don't remember too many other major things. Him crying in an elevator with a bunch of different levels.
Boah.
Brandon, please.
gonna have to check the YouTube video on that one in the comments and see what they all say. But this was a good episode. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say, Kyle, or are we done here?
I think that's about it. I don't have too much else to say. I am excited for the next episode. I want to see what him becoming a player is about, and I'm as of episode 1, I was pretty invested. You know, you gassed up the series. Oh, okay, cool. I still think it's a detriment that they split this up. Like there are different types.
Yeah, but
like,
now they're out. But now they're out.
Like for example, right?
But now it's out. But now they're both out.
Yeah. Now they're both out. Now they're yes.
So
Brandon,
basically, shut up.
Brandon, that's so mean.
Okay, and
it's fine that they're both out now, but I think if you're trying to hook people in, right? Because okay, I do have one more thing I want to say. Some people don't realize just how easy it is for viewers to lose interest like quickly. You know, so some things do need a quick plot hook, and I do feel like splitting it up is detrimental because you might have lost some people with that, where they watch episode 1 and they don't.
If you drop the series after episode 1, that's on you.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
To enjoy stuff.
You're right, but I mean, I'm not gonna fault anyone for it if
I'm gonna fault people for it.
Okay, think of I guess Jujutsu Kaisen, for example. You know, its first episode, that one works as a episode 1, where you get to the hook.
It's a shonen manga.
It is a shonen manga. Yeah, I know, but you get to the hook pretty quickly, and you know, hey, I'll gas it up. Mushoku Tensei.
Mushoku Tensei has a 2-part first episode. It's like not a 40-minute one. Episode 1 and 2 are essentially the first episode. It's like what solo leveling does. If you're gonna gas something up, gotta make sure you know it, Kyle. That's why I have no sympathy. If you drop something on episode 1, that means you don't get into Mushoku Tensei.
That's fair. Just I think series or the people who release them, I don't know. It's definitely tangential. It's not super important. It's just at least show up to a plot hook, you know.
No.
I'd say that. I would say that.
No.
Oh, okay then.
Maybe you need to sit down and watch a show.
True. I guess it is just watching and having information get revealed
when
to you.
I have to watch a show, I hate it here.
That's all I have to say.
With all that said, thank you all for watching. If you're this one of the episode, then obviously there's something like, so make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us what you liked about this episode. What was your favorite part? What did you think about the opening, the ending, and all the parts in between and a little bit before? Thank you all for watching. We hope that you all enjoyed, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.